I thought our guys did a tremendous job against a very talented team. Uh, I told our guys don't get consumed with what happened in the past as far as learning and growing and taking your lumps, but learn from it. Learn from it and endure that pain and growing as a team, but also enjoy that because it makes you better. If you don't give up, you don't quit. And we have ways to go as a team, but I think we've made tremendous strides, especially in a week or so. We've had a chance to practice and get better. And I thought our guys came with their hard hat. They worked hard. It took me back to my old school days of just really getting after, which I enjoy. That's probably why my knee is hurting. But that's what it takes. You have to dig deep, and you have to believe that you're good enough. And I think our guys understand now they're good enough. But it's very hard, and it's exhausting, it's taxing when you're trying to be the best against a team that has so many weapons and can score the ball, can make plays. But again, I'm happy. And I'm really happy for Kobe scoring the ball. And I thought he did well, but just as happy for Caleb, a guy that hadn't played a lot. And though it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but I thought he had a tremendous floor game, facilitating, making plays, directing traffic, defending, being physical without fouling. So proud of him because there's oftentimes you can lose yourself when not playing. But he stayed the course, had great energy, and he brings his hard hat to work every day. So I'm so happy for him.
What do you think this win, after all the ups and downs in the past few weeks, what do you think this win means not only to you but to your team?
I think it's great for them. For me, it's just another win. But I'm very happy for them because oftentimes you can consume yourself with the periphery when you're not winning games and you struggle. But I've never been one of those guys because that's time and energy off my life clock to be worried about that. Because as long as I have my wife and my family, then I'm already ahead of the game, and I know who's ahead of my life. But for our guys, I'm happy for them because I know the work you put in. I know oftentimes it can be taxing if you're a competitive player and you're struggling, you can't find a way to win games. But like I said to the guys, some of that losing had a lot to do. I'll take 50% of that. And whatever it is, because it's just as hard for me. So that means I'm not doing something good enough. I need to be better at something. We need to spend more time on something. So I'm in the fight with them. So I'm happy for them.
The way you guys came out in both halves offensively as good as you've been all year, what do you think that just the key to that was? Execute.
One, sharing the ball. I think you have to share the ball. But just really trying to drill into our guys more than anything. Don't get consumed if your shot isn't falling. Don't allow that to defeat you. It didn't fall. But we still got to rebound. We got to defend. We got to play hard. And that's a tough team to be able to defend when you have guys that can make plays like that. And Quentin is a guy that's so shifty. He gets to the rim, and he can finish at the rim. He's one of those guys kind of like Kyrie Irving. He finishes at the rim. It doesn't matter if you're a shot block. He knows how to finish. He knows how to find guys. So that's not easy. So you had a great win. But I just think it says a lot about our guys to find a way to execute on offense, to drive the ball. And we spent a lot. We've talked about as a staff, but again, I've had to put some restrictions on guys as when you're shooting threes because you got me to that point. And certain guys know, so that way shots don't just go on at the rim. You're taking good shots. You're taking shots that you practice, but you're driving that ball, putting pressure on the defense.
You mentioned the passing. I think you guys had a season high 19 assists. Just what impressed you the most about the ball movement today and how key was that to being able to have the offense work as well as it was?
Well, I think it was good ball movement, but it's also, again, you can't turn back the hands of time, but if you're able to make shots, then your spacing is better. I mean, you look at all the best teams, they make shots. That's why their spacing is good. If you don't make shots, then the defense tightens up. Now you struggle. But when you start making shots, that thing opens up. Now guys are able to drive the ball and make plays.
Cuonzo, not a lot of people would have probably thought you would have the exact same numbers from three-point range as Alabama in a game. You happier with that offensively or defensively?
Offensively making shots. Because they shoot enough where they're going to make them. But we talk about where you want to try to limit those guys and score them. There are certain things you're willing to give up against a team like that, but these are some of the things that we cannot have. These are things that we cannot not allow to happen. So we understand that in our scouting report. But for us, it's taking good shots, and the shots fail because we spend so much time. And even in the past, I thought maybe some off-balance shots, or maybe we took some shots because the next thing I'm hesitant to do the next thing. I'm hesitant to drive the ball, that type of stuff. So sometimes there's a shot that goes up. And we had a couple of those tonight. But we just try to spend a lot of time in practice on the next thing, being aggressive, being assertive, and driving that ball, playing the spacing. And I think Trevin continues to get better and better. And I thought he's much better in the second half defensively than he was in the first half. But as he continued to grow, we'll continue to grow.
Okay.
Lee Coleman had 18 points, Ishwan Gordon had 15 points. What did you see from those guys with Amari and Anton especially?
I thought they were solid. I thought they were aggressive. I thought Boogie settled some on some of those shots offensively. But I thought he put good pressure on the defense, especially with his size. Because he's 6'5", he get around the rim. You got those smaller guys on you. Take your time and make plays at the rim. I thought he rushed some at the rim, and Dejuan just making plays. He made shots, and then when he's making shots, he's doing other things. And he had a tall order in Gordon Quinlan, and I thought he did a solid job.
As a coach, how do you use wins like this, top 25 wins as kind of momentum moving forward as you head into the rest of SEC play?
Just really the next game, you try to enjoy this one tonight responsibly, and you prepare for the next game, and they're never easy. You're going on the road, and I've always enjoyed going on the road, whatever that means. But it just, but because if you applaud and you praise and you're in awe of beating a ranked team, that means we still have ways to go. Now, I know we've grown as a team, and we're not where we need to be as a team. But you have to understand, you have to believe that you're good enough. And don't get consumed with a team because they have a number in front of them. And that's a very talented team. The team has the tools and the talent to win it all. So I'm not saying that. But you have to understand you're playing basketball at the highest level in arguably the toughest league in America when you're talking talent, athleticism, skill. So every night you have your work to do.
Is there a certain point in the year when just being a freshman isn't an excuse anymore? You have to play the guys that are just playing well, like Caleb did tonight or Trevin?
Well, I just felt like, Caleb will continue to grow into it. Trevin he continued to get his legs up on him just because of so much time out. You could see Caleb in practice that it was coming. You could see that, and now he plays in a big game like this in the state where he's from. So now he gains confidence because he's a better than what he shows. He's a guy that can make plays at the rim. And I just told him at one point, be aggressive and attack the rim. They pressure you to make the plays, but he doesn't mind facilitating, and he plays well with Kobe, of course. He knows where he's over. He knows how to find him. But I just think, man, this time of year, I like to think when you're a freshman, it goes away, but everybody still learns at their own pace.
Probably easier for you than it is a 20-year-old kid, but how important is it throughout the course of the season to not get too high or too low?
Oh man, it's because it's a long season, and we've had our share of lows this season. So for us, because there will be plenty of film to watch to say, well, we could have been better here, especially in that first half defensive. We could have been better. I don't care how talented they are. There's things you got to be able to contain that dribble. You have to do that. So we got plenty of room to grow as a team. But I'm happy with our guys today, and I'll enjoy this the rest of this day, and we'll get back at it tomorrow.
You mentioned a little bit having to have the belief that you guys were, good enough before the game, just being shorthanded against a team like this, kind of, and the way you guys had performed against kind of, top teams earlier this season. What did you say to the team, in walking before this game?
What I always say, you have to believe you're good enough. You have to, oftentimes, and I'm not big in a lot of quotes, and that's so oftentimes people always say trust the process, but I always say trust the people, because you have to trust me, and you have to know as a coach I have your best interests, and I love you and I care for you enough that I'm not going to tell you everything you want to hear, but trust the fact that I'm going to do everything in my power so you can be successful. So it's trusting the people more than the process, because there's a lot of people to help you become successful. So I have to trust in coach. When coach says that's not a good shot for you, I got to trust the fact that coach knows what the best shot for me. Just like when Coach Katie said to me, don't shoot any more threes, though. Well, I knew coach still loved me. The coach was trying to win basketball games, and that was the best for the team.
One of the biggest things from today's game was the rebounding margin. You guys have rebounded at 12. Kobe had 5 offensive boards. Boogie had 3. Do you think that the offensive rebounding and urgency getting to the glass was something that pushed you guys forward today?
We spent a lot of time on it, and we always do. But again, when you have this kind of time off, you can go back to the basics, so to speak. So we spent a lot of time on it. I'm hopeful that we can capitalize on the time that we have. But this time of year is always good when no class in, to spend a lot of time getting better. Kobe's a physical presence down there. I mean, you're talking. I say 260, but he says 240. So if he's 240. But he's physical, and it's hard for one guy to keep him off the glass. And he keeps coming. And Ronnie does a good job of really growing into the way Kobe rebounds, relentless. And when you put that kind of pressure on teams, you got a chance to get your share. Just like the late one run, they kept that ball alive. Because of that action, we got the ball back.
Speaking of Colby, he's hit some shots in the mid-range early, made some threes, obviously scored around the basket. Seems like an obvious question, but how important is that to have a guy who can score at all three levels?
Well, I think it's very important. And again, I go back to the game against Illinois and a couple other games. If he makes the three ball, it changes the game. I'm not saying you won the game. They won the game, but it changed the game. Now you got to guard him differently. And then it opens the whole game up for everybody because now you have to guard that. And when he did that, everything else opened up. The post game, the drives, everything open.
Anything else?
The last thing I thought our fans had tremendous energy. I felt it, and we got to find a way to keep that going. But I thought they had a tremendous amount of passion and energy. So I thank them for that. You guys take it easy.